Oh my gosh, the Cologne Cathedral. It's so beautiful.
This was made without a single power tool. Parteria, anybody?
Parteria, what is that?
The Cologne Cathedral is made of sandstone. Sandstone has a hardness of 4. This is called a chisel. It's a tool that people used back when we actually had to have skills. If you're claiming that they used power tools on this, they must have built it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I want to say, like, didn't it take like hundreds of years? 800 years to finish that thing. And you think they must have used power tools? Like, what? Hi YouTube, welcome back in hell. My name is Cypress, and today we will be watching some videos by the Miniminuteman. He is a archaeology educator, environmental scientist, author, and Google debunker.
It's the giant steps in Peru.
You have got to be kidding me. Probably already know that this isn't a giant staircase. There still seems to be some confusion on it, so let me just drive it into the ground one last time. This is Ollantay Tambo. It is an Incan terrace farm.
Oh, it's a farm.
It looks like stairs. All right, riddle me this. If this was a staircase built for giants, why is there a human-sized staircase in the middle of it? And another human-sized staircase.
Oh my god, these conspiracy theorists always, man. I mean, they would probably say something like, so the humans could walk next to the giants? Something like that.
On the side of it. No, maybe they had human pets.
Yeah, exactly.
A guy on a string? That really looks like a giant could live in it. Oh yeah, and this doorway too. It's like 5.5 feet tall. Let's use some context clues. And what's that over there? Is that a terrace farm? Of course that's not a terrace farm. That was a staircase for baby giants.
Baby giants.
There is an entire valley right here. Where were they going? Why would you feel the need to build gigantic steps up this hill and into these tiny ass houses? Look at that. There's no stairs down the other side of the mountain. And this is what your giant stairs are made out of. Can you imagine a giant picking...
I mean, they would probably say, like, there was something there before, then it got destroyed, and then something new got built up there.
This up? Yes, we're gonna make a staircase so I can get over this hill. Giant conspiracy truly makes me believe that the human race is a lost cause.
Yeah, but I guess it would have been interesting if they really existed. Maybe some people just really wish that it was true, and then they start to believe it. Where was it going? Stairway to heaven, obviously. Just, you know, unfinished, unreliable contractors. As a Peruvian, thank you. I am so tired of people treating my culture and our old societies as impossible for people to do. They can believe that Greeks had such developed society, but they can't believe Peruvians also did. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, I think I've seen her before.
Dinosaurs actually existed. Wouldn't their bones be everywhere?
Really? We're doing dinosaur denialism? What is it, like 1830? Everyone and their mother's been tagging me in this dumbass video,
oh, no.
So I guess I have to talk about it.
Put our critical thinking skills to the test this morning.
I know one thing you didn't do this morning, and that is open Google even once. You could have educated yourself, used critical thinking.
True. But I guess it would say like, Google, why would you believe Google?
But you didn't, and now you have to deal with me. Why don't we all find dinosaur bones in our backyard? Jesus, this question could be answered by a dinosaur-obsessed toddler. I am from New England. Bedrock of New England is granite. Intrusive igneous rock, meaning that it has a volcanic origin. And not only was most of the granite in New England deposited before dinosaurs existed, but you can't have fossils in igneous rock. For the most part, dinosaur fossils can only occur in sedimentary rock. This is a map of dinosaur fossils in the US. Unless you live here, forget about finding
That's really interesting.
dinosaur fossils in your yard. And even if you did, you'd have to dig pretty deep to do it. 60 seconds is up, but I've only covered...
Yeah, does she think if you go with your little shovel and you dig a little, you would find something in your backyard?
Covered one of your points. I'm not done with you yet.
She's the type of person who would ask why do asteroids and meteors always land in craters. She is not allowed to use critical thinking.
So a lot of people are trying to tell me that the pyramids weren't built under the sand.
You think that it was built under this? Wait, what?
And that's a crazy idea.
People are calling you crazy for thinking the Great Pyramid was built underneath 450 feet of sand? Yeah, I agree with you, actually. That's not crazy. That's batshit fucking insane.
I knew you would say something like that.
So why did they only put gold at the top of the pyramid?
There is not a single person who knows what the capstone of the Great Pyramid was. Or
what does it have to do with that it should have been built under sand? I'm so confused.
Even if there was one. Who knows, maybe it was gold. And if it was, then maybe they clad the whole pyramid in it and it was all stolen. Considering you don't cite how you know what was on top of the Great Pyramid, I'm gonna assume you just pulled it directly out of your ass.
Because the gold tip was the only thing showing above the sand.
Have you ever touched sand? Parents ever bring you to the beach as a kid? You know, you dig in the sand, you try and dig a tunnel, and it immediately collapses in on itself. Why would you ever build something 400 feet tall with a 750-foot wide base underneath sand?
What was the
Could you guys
purpose of
precision
that?
quarry 6.5 million tons of stone for me to just bury in the desert? Are you literally out of your fucking mind?
So a lot of...
Have you ever touched sand? That shit sounds like an ancient insult. People 5,000 years from now thinking skyscrapers used to be buried all the way to the antenna. You see that little gold bump? Yeah. There's a 150-meter pyramid underneath. Why? Why would you do that? That makes no sense. Why is there only gold on top? Maybe because it would take a metric ton of gold to make the whole ass pyramid out of gold? And also, it just looks cooler if it's only the top. Just saying.
Pyramids were built with sound.
What? What is that coming out of this thingy?
You know what? I'm totally with it. The pyramids were built with a didgeridoo. Firstly, this is really cool. This dude's moving a rock with sound. Looks like he's...
Oh, it's a rock!
The thing he's moving weighs like 4 ounces. We're trying to build this. These blocks can weigh up to 15 tons. That's a lot of fucking didgeridoo.
I would say my lungs would die, but okay.
I'm not saying it's impossible. Clearly, if you had something big enough, you could move one of these blocks with sound. And that's the problem, because you need something so goddamn big to make the sound to move these, that moving the thing that makes the sound would then become the problem. Using a fucking 2-pound didgeridoo to, you know, move a 3-ounce rock is not a very good exchange rate when you're trying to move a 15-ton piece of limestone. You have to get them all precisely lined up like that. Can you didgeridoo that a little to the left? I don't know why people think things like this are somehow more plausible than, you know, them using ropes and sticks to do it. Because personally, I think it'd be a lot easier to do something like this than to make a 10-story didgeridoo.
Oh, he picked it up. I didn't see that.
Pyramids were built with sound.
Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention. I was just looking at the didgeridoo. 2 sounds were heard across the world. The eruption of the Krakatoa volcano and several million quasi-slave peasants screaming at rock. They moved the didgeridoos with even bigger didgeridoos. I'm also guessing that the sheer loudness of a didgeridoo big enough to move a 15-ton block would instantly kill anyone close enough. I didn't even think about it, like how loud that would be. We would have legends of that for sure. The didgeridoo heard around the world.
It is impossible to build the pyramid.
I got 3 things for you that are gonna blow your goddamn mind. There they are. All 3 of them. It does take balls to look at like the biggest pile of rocks on the planet and have your thought be, no.
Even with the technology we have now, we would struggle to build them.
With the technology we have now, we could...
I don't understand that. Like, why would we have any struggle right now to build it? That makes no fucking sense to me. Just look outside, look around you, look at all the things that we can build right now. And you think we would have troubles building the fucking pyramids in this day and age? How does that make any sense?
Build a giant pile of rocks. So I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt that you're probably from a different planet. So let me bring you up to speed. We built this. It's like a building that's almost a kilometer tall. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Here's a dam that's so goddamn big that the lake it holds back has literally changed the rotation of planet Earth. I-95, the auto mile in Norwood. I mean, the things humanity is capable of when we put our minds together is truly astonishing.
Around before us were more advanced than we are today.
The ancient Egyptians lived in a desert and they were able to do this with just a bunch of sticks, rocks, rope, and a whole ton of forced labor. You're telling me that you couldn't do the same thing when you have access to a tower crane, Caterpillar 797 mining truck, and a goddamn Bagger 288. You don't lack the technology, you just have a skill issue.
What people don't understand is it was really hard to build the pyramids, but they did it anyways. Hard, not impossible. Exactly. People hear the word hard and they think it means it's not possible. My brother phrased it really well. People are quick to say no one could do that when they really mean I couldn't do that. That is so true. The idea that we have space stations and we couldn't build big triangle is hysterical. People who say it's impossible to build pyramids suffer from a crippling lack of creativity. You personally can think of how they could have been built, therefore no one could have? That's some real main character syndrome, yep.
You haven't figured it out? It's an ice wall yet?
Don't you take that patronizing tone with me, boy. You're
the ice wall.
That says ice wall. I wish I had the balls to walk around with a sign on my head that says I never learned how to read.
True, man. Like, every video that I see now, I'm like, damn, I wish I was that confident.
He went to Antarctica and flying a helicopter and panning, they never get to the end because it's just an ice wall.
Whoa.
Wait, what?
Pause. Antarctica's really big. About the size of one Antarctica. But you seem to have gotten the size of Antarctica confused with the size of Rhode Island. Secondly, let's critical think for a second, if you can do that. By some lapse of judgment on my end, I decided to give you a helicopter, and I told you to fly it around Antarctica. Firstly, you wouldn't make it. It's too big, you'd run out of fuel, you'd crash into the ocean. For any confusion, see Rhode Island. Before you crashed into the ocean, if you were flying around Antarctica in a big counterclockwise circle, do you know what you would see out of the left window of your helicopter the entire time? A giant wall of ice. You wanna know why?
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like when you're looking at the side of a giant fucking circle. I've been sailing along this coast for 10 months. I think it's an infinite wall of jungle. The sheep keep telling me that I'm just sailing around Hawaii.
I was once a flat earther. I decided to walk to the edge to prove the hypothesis, but in the end, I came around. I was a flat earther for 4 years. I then went to kindergarten.
We just found out how to build a pyramid.
My
I
what?
like this guy. He's also a smartass. But unfortunately, he's one of the people who's gonna try and convince...
That's base pro shops?
To you that you couldn't build the pyramids with modern technology and that the ancient Egyptians had far more advanced and superior tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, his primary argument is pretty much just a compilation of OSHA violations. This argument is stupid, and he literally debunks it himself in the next, 2 seconds.
Oh, no.
Or around 80 tons each, lifted over 50 meters off the ground. Not sure how they did that.
Well, I'll give you a hint. Just look at the picture right behind you. The ancient Egyptians did not lift the stones for the pyramid. They dragged them.
Oh my
Do you really
God.
think that people without modern technology would have looked for a way to pick the stone up off the ground and lift it? I encourage you to Google the phrase, work smarter, not harder. It takes way less people to drag it up a ramp than it does to lift it physically off the ground and move it over. And that's why this is a bad faith argument, because they're working harder, not smarter. What you do is tie 3 of these trucks to that stone and drag it in the course of an afternoon.
I can't believe that he just debunked himself and he didn't even see it. That is so embarrassing. I mean, the whole thing is already embarrassing, but then you also debunk yourself in the same video. That is so embarrassing. Nah, bro, they played some magic flutes that made those stones levitate. Duh. No dragging, no cranes, just the power of the frequencies. The didgeridoo?
You guys are not going to believe this, which is good because it's not true. Every time I see this fun fact, a little bit of my soul dies. It goes like this. The number for the speed of light is the same coordinates as the pyramids of Giza. I don't know what kind of crack these people are smoking. Considering this is one of my favorite examples of the collective aneurysm that is pseudo-archaeology, I thought I would talk about it and all of its faults. Riddle me this. This argument hinges on the speed of light being 299 million meters per second. You could say, whoa, well, how'd the Egyptians figure out what the speed of light was? And that would be very astute of you. The thing that I think is even more shocking about this is the implication that ancient Egyptians used the metric system. Do you not think that the aliens that built the pyramids would have used something else?
True.
The universe used the metric system while America's still using imperial. Secondly, this is not a coordinate, that is a latitude line. It means that this is one band that runs all the way around the planet.
Oh my
It doesn't actually run through
God.
the pyramids, it runs next to them. If that's enough evidence for you, ooh, they must have also built Jacksonville, Florida. If you know someone who believes this, please refer them to a psychologist.
I am so happy that I actually do not know someone that believes that. I actually have never heard of this before. This was my first time hearing about that. Holy shit, no way! The aliens built Jacksonville, Florida? All jokes aside, aliens did indeed build Jacksonville. Frankly, aliens being responsible for Jacksonville, Florida is the best explanation for that place I've heard.
I know what you're thinking. Wow, that's a big-ass rock. Well,
Joke's on you! My brain is empty.
you'd be wrong. That is not a big-ass rock. It is a big-ass chunk of metal.
Oh, it's
In fact,
metal?
it's actually the biggest-ass chunk of metal. This is the Hoba meteorite. Pretty amazing that it landed in front of all those seats. The Hoba meteorite is not only the largest intact meteorite on the entire planet, but also the largest known piece of iron on the entire planet. It weighs 60 tons. The thing is fucking huge. Here's the weird part. Hoba meteorite has no impact
Yeah, why
crater.
does it not?
Bit strange. Let's talk about why.
Yeah.
It's theorized that when the Hoba meteorite entered the Earth's atmosphere, it was going really goddamn fast. Probably around 20,000 miles an hour. But as it entered the atmosphere, it slowed down, potentially because of its shape being very flat on both sides. This
I wanted to say, well, I feel like your only explanation would be that it slowed down, that it wasn't that fast.
would have increased its drag, meaning that its impact may have only been around 6,000 miles an hour. This would have both reduced the size of the impact crater and also preserved the projectile. Hoba was actually a tiny meteorite, which is actually why it's the largest intact specimen that we have, because when something like this enters the atmosphere at 20,000 miles an hour, it does this.
I love that they decided to build little circular seats around the big rock, just a place to sit and stare at the space metal. As someone who would love to sit and stare at the space metal, I'm very glad they put all those seats. Me too. If I saw a massive hunk of space metal on the ground, I'd sit and stare too. Sometimes humans suck, but sometimes we're really cute. Like making a big circle to come sit around a space rock, yes. Well, I've never been to a metal concert, but I would be willing to pay to see that live.
Earlier this week, Polish archaeologists announced that they had discovered a vampire burial. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is it a vampire? No.
Oh, no, now I'm disappointed.
Is it a burial? Absolutely. This unfortunate young woman likely lived around the 17th century and was buried with full accordance to vampire superstition. As you can tell by the agricultural scythe across her neck, with the presumed intention being that if the deceased were to rise again to suck the blood of the living, she would be immediately decapitated.
Holy
Just like the old saying
shit.
goes, why kill when you can overkill? Beyond this, the The young woman was also found with a padlock around her toe. This was likely more of a symbolic feature signifying the permanence of death and the banishment from the world of the living. So what is the story here? Well, archaeologists have found no immediate evidence of foul play. The presence of this one naturally protruding tooth has shed some light on the topic. And as heartbreaking as it is, we could be looking at a tale as old as time. One where the violence and hate from the fearful and superstitious is so often channeled towards those who are different.
That's really sad. Imagine rising as a vampire and getting immediately spawn camped. Hey guys, look at my tooth! Begone, you foul beast! It was super common in Poland. Sometimes they didn't put sides, but chopped the head and put it between the legs. We have a lot of vampire burials in Poland. Probably because they were all dead. You all buried them. You had successful vampire burials. That's why there are no myths. An advanced civilization once ruled the Antarctic. No mountain has 4 sides with equal angles.
You know, you're actually right. No mountain does have 4 sides with equal angles, including fucking this one. Look at it. I've been tagged in so many conspiracy videos talking about this pyramid in Antarctica. So I'm going to use this highly simple meme with the Sigma male stock footage behind it to break down why this conspiracy is fucking stupid. Firstly, it's worth noting that this peak doesn't even have a name, but it is part of the Ellsworth Mountains in Antarctica. Now, as far as mountains, it's fairly small, standing at about 4,000 feet, which, you know, is almost 3,500 feet taller than the Pyramid of Khufu, which you know is a little bit big for a pyramid. But Milo, if it's not a pyramid, then why does it look like a pyramid? Occam's razor, baby, the simplest answer is often the most likely. This shape is actually fairly common for geologic structures which were subjected to cold weather erosion. Here's a picture of the Alps where you can see a suspiciously straight ridgeline, a repeated yearly freeze and thaw action, and not by aliens.
Let's be honest, if those guys invented intergalactic travel, decided to move 1 trillion metric tons, and this is the best pyramid they could build, then I'm not impressed. But why does it look like that? Because it does. That means nothing. Honestly, I'm just weirded out by the fact that everyone just kind of assumes aliens have a fetish for pyramids. Okay, wait, like actually though, if I could build a spaceship to travel throughout the galaxy, I'm not making a goddamn stone pyramid in the middle of a freezing void.
Is proof that giants are real?
Was that supposed to be a rhetorical question? Because I mean, obviously the answer is no, but I am curious to see how you back this up.
Everything used to be a lot bigger due to oxygen levels, and
we just need an example of a mammal that got bigger because there was too much oxygen.
take a look at this prehistoric centipede.
Ooh.
Now, I'm no ornithologist, but that right there is definitely not a mammal. This bitch, an arthropluria. It's an arthropod, as you may have guessed.
How dare you call it? Did you just say this bitch? How dare you call it a bitch?
And there's a reason why it got so big and mammals didn't. You don't need to be a biologist to know that mammals and insects probably breathe differently. Mammals got lungs and our respiratory system's tied to our circulatory system, and insects, in a way, sort of breathe through their skin. Boom, it's the Carboniferous period.
Man,
now.
I wish I was breathing through my
trees
skin.
Fucking everywhere. It's hot, it's humid, oxygen levels are 30% higher than they are today. And so insects go, damn, if only I had more surface area, I could be sucking in some more oxygen. Because I don't have lungs like a total loser. And so insects pop the fuck off. Oh my god, it took me 60 seconds to debunk one bullshit point. I guess I'm gonna have to make another video.
She's come to the wrong conclusion. The increased oxygen made the knife get bigger, not people, obviously. Her all eating broccoli. Am I a tree-eating giant?
Who's got 2 thumbs and made the woolly mammoths go extinct? These guys. About 10,000 years ago, somebody's ancestor killed the last mammoth. Real dick move. But did you know that in a far-off corner of the world, a small population survived? This is Wrangel Island. Today, it's part of Russia. It was the home of the very last population of woolly mammoths. During the last glacial period, the sea level was about 400 feet lower. So mammoths from the mainland were able to walk out to populate what would become Wrangel Island. Then the sea level rose, and they all got stuck. Now, becoming trapped on an island in Siberia kind of seems like a terrible thing to happen. But man, in this case, let me tell you, it totally saved their ass.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say, and that's how they died.
Mammoths of Wrangel Island were able to survive for another 6,000 years after their mainland relatives had gone extinct. That means that mammoths lived on this island until about 4,000 years ago.
Though?
They were still there when the pyramids were being built. 4,000 years ago, the mammoths of Wrangel Island vanished at the same time that humans arrived. Drove final sanctuary into extinction.
Oh my god! Humans looked at mammoths and went, absolutely not. You forgot the best part. They were dwarfs. They were only about 6 feet tall at the shoulder, half the size of a regular mammoths. Smaller size allowed them to survive on less resources on limited landmass, also known the island effect. Oh my gosh. You look like your ancestors killed the last mammoth is a great insult.
Scientists are having a hard time explaining the strange mystery that's happened inside of this ancient Egyptian temple.
It's a little something that I like to call not true. But as a show of good faith, I'd love for you to tell me more about your conspiracy theory over a craft beer.
Steps made out of solid granite that look to be melted.
Yo, he said the thing. He said looks like. Well, if that's all the evidence for this conspiracy, let's just keep it rolling.
Concluded that it was not from erosion or continuously stepping on.
That's a very weird thing to say, considering that this is an example of both of those things. Because these steps have been walked on for at least 2,000 years. Despite being made of a softer rock, the steps from the Leaning Tower of Pisa aren't looking so hot after only about 600 years. So let's throw Occam's razor out the window and see what your explanation is.
Clear sign that there was nuclear weaponry?
What?
This is the exterior of the Temple of Hathor. I promise you, dear viewer, that you don't need to be an archaeologist in order to know that that is one of the worst explanations for anything maybe ever.
That's crazy that that's the conclusion you come to. My ancestors on their way to precisely nuke a granite staircase for no fucking reason. This man is completely overlooking the possibility that dragons melted it. I love how the supposed nukes not only targeted just the stairs, but also did not even destroy them, just slightly melt them to annoy visitor.
Do you guys believe that this sun is the real sun that we grew up with?
Wait,
this
what?
is a fake fucking sun.
She thinks the sun is a fake sun. Does she think the sun has been swapped for a fake sun?
Ooh, that's a good one. I can tell
That's
you
a good
1,000% confidence that this person is just fucking with us for internet clout. And it's
Okay,
working
good.
because they have 1.2 million followers. But this is just so hilarious that I can't not talk about it.
That's cool.
That's weird, right? A second sun?
That's
one
weird.
sun right behind the other one. Yeah.
You want to know how to make that second sun disappear? You open the window that you are shooting through. This is what happens when you film the sun through a pane of glass. Oh, no, you have got to be fucking with me. I figured out how to adjust the brightness on my phone camera. The sun must not be real. You can even see each swipe they make as they change the exposure.
Oh yeah, you can see
I
it,
don't
yes.
even know what to say here.
Either, honestly. I've watched this video like 3 times now, and all I've taken away from it is a splitting migraine. I cannot believe that this is my job. Follow me, please.
Bold of her to assume the sun she grew up with was the real one. Building a pyramid? It's too hard. Building a fake sun? Absolutely. The best part is that we grew up with part. It implies that the sun used to be real and only became fake as of late.
Whether you believe the hollow earth theory or not, let me just ask you this.
By all means, ask
Oh my god, I forgot about the hollow earth theory.
Tell us your pearls of wisdom, conspiracy, Brendan Urie.
Why does it remain forbidden to fly over the poles?
That's how you ask a question as a conspiracy theorist. See, to ask this question, he's implying that it's forbidden to fly over the poles, which it most definitely isn't. If you wanted to catch this flight from Santiago, Chile to Perth, Australia, you would be legally flying over the South Pole. The only reason there's so few is there's not that much populated land down here, while international flights cross the North Pole all the goddamn time.
I, at some point in time, did Google Earth
Whoa. So they do use Google Earth, but they don't Google the other stuff. Okay.
censor polar latitude.
Yes, another question that relies on something that is fundamentally wrong. They didn't censor the South Pole? Look, here it is. Ooh.
Or seeds found floating in the
You have
water
illegal footage.
from the interior of the icebergs.
And another one that's fundamentally wrong. They don't find tropical seeds floating in ice. They find them as fossils because the continent that is now Antarctica used to be at a much higher latitude at a time when the Earth was much warmer. I'm a firm believer that there's no stupid questions, only stupid answers. The whole, I'm just asking questions here crowd really makes me question.
I mean, they aren't really asking questions. They're just phrasing their answers as questions to dodge criticism. You hit the nail on the head. There are no stupid questions, only apply to those who are genuinely inquisitive and not to those who don't care for the answer exactly. It's illegal to fly over the poles because Santa has an anti-air missile launcher to stop the Grinch's bombing runs. Oh my gosh, the Cologne Cathedral. It's so beautiful.
Was made without a single power tool. Arteria, anybody?
This is a good
Arteria?
one.
What is
the
that?
Cologne Cathedral is made of sandstone. Sandstone has a hardness of 4. This is called a chisel. It's a tool that people used back when we actually had to have skills. If you're claiming that they used power tools on this, they must have built it pretty quickly, right?
Started being built in 1248.
It took them.
Yeah, I want to say, like, didn't it take like hundreds of years? 800 years to finish that thing. And you think they must have used power tools? Like, what?
Years to finish the goddamn thing. Granted, they did take like a 200 or 300 year break.
But still, 200-300 year break, you still have several hundred years in there.
If they had power tools, they would have got it done faster than 600 years.
Yes!
Conspiracy theories stem from being so coddled by modern technology that they can't fathom putting actual work into something. I think you need to spend a day at a construction site, because I would love for you to walk up to a unionized stonemason with a Dunk-sized coffee and tell him that you can't carve sandstone without power tools, because he will laugh directly in your face, and if you're lucky, he may even shake one of your baby soft hands. Please, for the love of God, send your children to Evoke Tech High School so they can learn some real-world skills. Because if this keeps going, we're gonna get to a point where there's conspiracy theorists who don't believe in woodworking anymore.
As someone from Cologne, I would like to add that due to the way the cathedral was built, it is basically under constant repairs and refurbishment, and here in Cologne, work on the cathedral has never been considered finished because of that. In fact, there's a saying here that roughly translates to, the day the Cologne cathedral is completed, the world's gonna end. You're gonna tell me this was made without power tools? Yeah, that is absolutely what everyone is going to tell you. It's always good to remember that just because something is beyond your abilities doesn't mean it is beyond everyone's ability. Hi! If you like the video, please make sure that you like it and subscribe to my channel and turn on notification bell if you want to see more of it. I also go live on Twitch and on this YouTube channel, so come join us sometimes. Bye!